Hey everybody, welcome to the last episode of the year of the Disc Only podcast.
See, we're hot now too, so you can insert an early joke. Like if you got an early funny,
Oh my god.
if you got an early funny, they can go right here. I bet you didn't know that either. It's a secret.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Disc Only podcast, the only podcast that wishes you a Merry Christmas and nobody else. I'm Proton John, your host as always, and this year for Christmas, I want sleep.
My name is Tom Fox, and this year for Christmas, I wanted to talk about South of the Border, but a picture I saw where it was destroyed was just it being reconstructed, not it being closed down.
It's all right. South of the Border exists in multiple states at once. It's like plasma. I'm Stephen George. I'm back. That's it.
I thought you meant in the continental U.S.
He has returned to us from the outside lands. I am Jared. Do I usually say 8-bit drummer or Jared at the beginning of these? I can't remember. Also,
Go with what your heart desires.
yeah, what I was going to say was, oh my God, we're animated. What?
Yeah, so a buddy of mine, Unedited Bear, he runs our art Discord, and he told me how to do this. So whenever we actually talk, we actually light up now instead of having the little icons underneath. The problem is, he told me how to do this back in June. Oh no, hang on, no, it was early. Oh, it was April. Oh, yeah. So
Wow.
That is a mood and a half, man. Let me tell you what. My God.
He told me how to do this in April, and I did it last night at 4 a.m.
Give them the old procrastination.
It looks really good. We do
really does.
we do something similar for Stephen and Friends where we have folks' names appear, but when you've got just 4 people doing the little heads bouncing up like that, it looks hella good.
Yeah.
Good job.
My DM for D&D does this as well, where like just our character art will do the little bouncy. Oh no, he commissions an artist to have it when we're like when normally for us it's like we're like gray and gray with black outlines. Then when we talk, we're white with blue outlines. For the D&D thing, he has it where it's like the character's mouth is closed when they're not talking, then the character's mouth is open when they are talking.
Boing. Boing.
Yeah, so there's like 2 frames of animation. So there's the off and the on, but like it also darkens the image. So I had to figure out how to do this because like I'm not good with photo editing. I can do minimal manipulation, some pixel editing. That's it.
Same.
And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just use the magic wand tool and I'll get rid of all the white around my avatar, so that way I can just easily cut it in and out. Piece of cake. I grabbed everyone else's. Out of the 4 of our headshots for this, mine's the only one that has no breaks in the line work. So, so every time I magic wanded everyone else, they suddenly had their hair disappear. So I had to do a little bit of tinkering to fix that. So hopefully, Prison's cool with that. No, you've still got hair. Don't worry.
You did great. It looks
Also,
great. Good job.
Shout outs to all the audio listeners. Y'all just have to listen in on the podcast live to see what we're talking about. Sorry.
Well, I mean, like we explained it pretty well. It's just like little animated bits with our floating heads,
Yeah,
our talking
the
heads.
icons light up is the best way to put it. The heads on the background light up now.
When we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm caught up. I wasn't here last month, but I listened to the show.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, it's real weird because I've never listened to the show before. I've only ever been on the show. I've never actually listened to the show.
So what do you think? What rating would you give us? Like, out of 10?
I was like, oh man, this is pretty good. And then I played an older episode because we were in the car. I was like, wait. So after we finished the episode, I was like, Mal, play the one from the month before. So she played it so I could hear what I sound like on the show. And I was like, so that's what I sound like on the show. And she's like, I was like, that's pretty neat. It's on the internet. And she's like, oh my God.
You were literally,
Even?
you are a content creator. Like,
Yeah, but I don't know. This is like, I'm just hanging out with some buds and just talking. And like to listen to it played back is super bizarre because I'm like, oh, that's really strange.
this is the meta episode of the podcast right here. Like 100%.
I've left the podcast on when I go out sometimes for Manatee's sake because he gets nervous when things are too quiet.
Oh, but he hears Dad's voice and makes him happy.
He'll hear my voice, and he's really grown accustomed to Steven's voice because for the longest time I just pop on YouTube, and the first thing was on there was like the 200 episode long playlist of Skyrim. So just be like, great, see you, Manatee, enjoy Skyrim.
I'm gonna visit you sometime, and he's gonna be like, "Are you my real dad?"
Either that, or he's gonna visit you and be like, "You're the guy who's speaking whenever Dad goes away."
Whatever you know of my dad.
Are you a ghost? Freaking the other day, whenever the Spotify like rap things came out, I just wanted to say like thank you to everybody like who has been listening and like had us as their number one podcast. Like that was super surreal for me because like I'm just like a YouTube and Twitch boy. I've never done like a podcast before, so like it was like a big honor for me. I was just sitting like, oh my god, like people are like listening to this like crazy, and
yeah.
I love the fact that it says how many minutes that people have listened to it. I'm like, oh my god, we talk for a very long time.
We sure do.
It also kind of makes me wonder, like, how many of those people, like, if anybody's like minutes listened to are longer than the total amount of time we spent doing this podcast.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, man, some of y'all listened to this more than once, which is fantastic. I'm so glad that you didn't get fed up with us. like we got fed up with us.
I like to think that like there's a very small chunk, like a sliver of people who are listening to it over and over again to grab like clips from.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can see that.
That's reasonable.
Steven?
That's my name.
I'd like to talk to you about Donkey Kong's teeth.
Oh no.
It is a word I must spread. As in the new Mario Party, Donkey Kong's teeth retract.
I'm sorry, what?
Donkey Kong's teeth retract. You can see a good sample of it in the emote that people are posting in chat right now.
Oh, that's cursed. Oh, I've never noticed that before.
I've seen this.
Ugh.
It's this emote.
Yep.
Tom, why? Okay.
It is very noticeable in the look away minigame because whenever Donkey Kong like does has a little victory in it, you know, he opens his mouth and smiles for a little bit, and then his teeth like pop back in.
Okay, what is it about like Mario Party like models not having teeth?
Just Mario
They're
models
not
in general.
usually needed.
I guess so.
They gave Daisy teeth for this one.
Yeah, I bet they did. Good God, because like the other like I love the fact that we've been pointing that out whenever we were playing together, and it was just like, where are her teeth, dude? Like, what the frick?
I mean, like the older games. It's whether your teeth are there or not, or sometimes there and sometimes not. You know, we are all beautiful.
So apparently, the whole thing with like Donkey Kong's teeth is that his teeth can only show when he's doing when he's grinning like that. And it's like prevalent in like art and in official art and like even like in the games itself. This is the one time where it's been like really noticeable because it's just a close up of his mouth.
Mm-hmm. That's so strange. I can't stop looking at it. That's a good emote though.
Yeah.
Like, GG on that.
I like just going to random streams, just posting in there and just seeing what the reaction is.
Just walking
even though I wasn't
leaving
here,
some teeth and walking away.
There you go.
Even though I wasn't here last month, we've done some streams, and I've seen that emote posted, and then it had to promptly be explained to me. But that's fine. I understand. I understand that there is an obsession amongst this group of people with video game characters and teeth.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, amongst this group, sure.
Yeah.
One
person amongst.
And who can really say?
My
God.
Came up during that one Custom Smash episode, and I just went along with it.
Let those amongst us who haven't thought about video game characters' teeth throw the first stone. But
right,
please don't throw them at the teeth.
Bro, I'm so round.
It's just just walk into a place and I just drop a handful of teeth and I leave.
Stop! Ew.
So
is that how you pay for stuff? I got it. Tom is the freaking Tooth Fairy.
There you go.
I'm dropping it right here.
Are we talking like?
We're talking Dwayne The Rock Johnson Tooth Fairy. Yes.
No, I'm talking Tom Fox Tooth Fairy. That's
right.
what
But in the same universe as the Dwayne The Rock Johnson Tooth Fairy.
Like, is it just him wearing like? Was he football gear? I think is what he was wearing in the movie. I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember.
It was like a pacifier.
It was like a football gear and a tutu or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Like
So
I thought it was like
just like that, or is he like an actual fairy?
Like covert ops.
I'm gonna leave that up for chat to decide.
Like I was wearing like a covert ops outfit, Dwayne The Rock, and the tutu.
Oh right,
Man,
Larry
I
the
never
Cable
saw
Guy
that
was in
movie.
the sequel, right?
Oh my what?
Just
really?
like Jingle All the Way, he's also in that sequel as the main character.
Good.
He's like whenever I was younger, I enjoyed Larry the Cable Guy, but now I've kind of like moved away from like red collar comedy, like the whole tour, like all four of the guys. I still love their stuff. I just haven't listened to them in a while. But Larry the Cable Guy, Larry the Cable Guy in movies is always like an anomaly to me. It's like he like shouldn't exist in that movie's universe because he's just Larry the Cable Guy. You know, like that's just how I know him as. I know him from the comedy tour, but yeah, it's always very strange to me.
Well, I mean, what would be his most popular role? Like Mater, right? From Cars?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like he was in a Medea movie a while back.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he was like a main character in a Medea movie, and the only thing I remember from that movie is him saying to a character, "It looks like he's going to need some Prilosec OTC."
Oh my god!
And I'm like, man, talk about like being typecasted, dude.
See, I want to do this movie, but Prilosec won't let me do it unless they advertise Prilosec in the movie.
unless they say it, or unless he says it. Like, oh
God,
man,
it's like Wayne's World.
Oh,
I'm gonna say it seems more like the epic movie or scary movie. There you go, that series.
Oh
yeah. There was a lot of memes in that movie.
I was thinking like the Wayne's World bit where he's like he's like, no, we don't sell out, and then just like, it's the taste of a generation, or I got such a headache. Yeah, 2 of these, small and blue, but very powerful. Like the Advil and the Pepsi.
Yeah, no, that was a good one too.
small and blue and very powerful.
Also, Jared, chat pointed this out. You combined redneck comedy and blue collar comedy into red collar comedy.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I meant blue collar comedy tour. That's what I was saying. What I was trying to say, but my brain's
But your
fried.
subconscious was like redneck
Yo,
comedy tour.
Listen, I'm from the South. All right, I got family members who could be considered redneck. I've been called that before, which is funny. But like, yeah, no, my brain's been fried the past 3 days, so I've been really busy. Also, Endwalker's really fun.
Final Fantasy 14.
Bro, I've been in that pit for forever. Like, for a long time.
The current pit of Endwalker Q.
Oh, yeah. Well, here, you know what the secret is? You start in the morning. You play in the morning. You have 60 people because nobody's awake at that time.
you play in the well. Now it's gonna fill up again because you gave that advice.
Frick!
Well, now
you're right.
most people got their PTO done, so now they're actually gone back to work. So yeah, now that trick works no problem.
Well, no, it worked out. Like Erica's been playing. She's level 89. Like because she starts in the morning. Like she plays in the morning because she is a morning person. So like, it's yeah, it works out for her, man. She's getting through it. But every time I get on after I'm off of stream, I'm like, frick. You know, because if I were to wait for the queue, it would be around 7,000. Now, I will give them credit. They've done everything that they can. They weren't able to buy new servers, you know, like that's just with the shortage and everything. Like they wanted to buy new ones, they just couldn't, and it sucks. Because like the last thing that Yoshi P wanted was for people to be stuck in a queue for that release, man.
Or in the queue and then booted out of it and then had to come back and
It was like what was it? The WoW Classic launch.
Oh,
that was that was awful. So pretty much like my friends and I set up back when I was living with Z, like a bunch of friends and I just all set up our computers just in like the landing area of the house we were renting, and got queued up, and it was like 3-hour wait, and it's like great. So why don't we'll just order some pizza and we'll watch the episode of South Park where they play World of Warcraft. We'll see where it goes from there. And I think it was like 11 o'clock at night when all of us were finally in the game.
Oh man,
I think we started at like noon.
dude, I remember. I even remember like back in whenever Burning Crusade came out, in World of Warcraft, that was pretty beefy too. Whenever it came down to the time you had to wait for that, but yeah, like. Goodness. I mean, and that's what happens whenever you're the freaking, biggest MMO on the planet right now, and there's a server shortage or chip shortage,
Yep.
and it sucks because like you can just like from everything that I've played, it's just been like, man, it is wonderful, and it is definitely, you can see that the dev team loves this project. Like, I mean, with Soken, Yoshi P, freaking like, they're doing everything that they can for this, and I'm completely blown away by it. There's so much transparency, there's so much goodness coming out of that dev team. I can do nothing but be like, yeah, okay, I can wait, and give them a freaking hand clap, because they're doing darn good for for the hand that they have been given or dealt. Like, they're doing pretty well. But yeah, Endwalker's good. If anybody was on the fence about like playing an MMO, like, or Final Fantasy 14 to begin with, do it. Endwalker's freaking lit.
Yeah, it seems like I'm going to have to play the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14 with an expanded free trial, which you could play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 for free with no restrictions on playtime.
Unless you goof
And
like
if
I
you're
did
having-
and you bought the full thing and you don't get the free demo.
Yeah.
Fair.
Was that an ad?
It is an ad, yes, but it's also like a meme, because people saw that and they were just like, that's very ridiculous. So people just started saying, like, posting that everywhere as a meme. Like, have you heard of Final Fantasy 14? Yada yada yada, and like all that jazz.
Yeah, that was wonderful. That was a big thing in my chat for a while, because my main mod and buddy Dell, he is oh man, he plays that game more than anybody else I've ever seen. And they're like, it's his fault that me and Erica are playing that game, and we love it. But my God, he memes it up so much, and he makes it so much more fun to play too. Like, he has one of the mounts in the game. We call it the Cringe Raptor, because like,
Oh my God.
it's like I have to find a picture and send it to y'all. But like the raptor, it's like he has like a expression on his face like at all times. And he now has an emote of it, and it's fantastic, dude. Oh my God. I have to see if I think I'm subbed to him. I have to look and see. That should be. Anyways. But yeah.
I like the there's a lot of good mounts in that. Is Final Fantasy 14 the one with the fat cat mount?
Yes.
There's the fat cat mount, there's the fat chocobo mount.
There's a lot of rotund mounts in that game.
And all of the mounts can fly, right? If you have like if you get to the proper point, they can fly.
Yeah, they all fly, and it's really funny because some of them have no reason to be able to fly.
Oh yeah, I imagine the fat cat should not be able to fly.
Dude, like you can get a car in the game, and it like turns into an aircraft. It's actually really cool. But then
Isn't
you
that
have
straight up from 15? Isn't that
15? Yeah.
2015?
There's also a Rathalos mount because they did a crossover with a Monster Hunter.
Yep, and it is freaking awesome.
You ever think about how weird it is that Final Fantasy 14 has been around so long that it's putting stuff from later Final Fantasies into Final Fantasy 14?
I mean, like it's their current moneymaker. Honestly, it's probably what's holding up development on 16.
Dude.
Well, it's the same dev team on 16, so yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But man, the amount of money that game is making right now is just it is like mind blowing to me thinking about it. Because with all the subscriptions that are out there, and everybody who's buying the game right now, and everybody who knows about the game now because of like Asmongold and other people on Twitch, a lot of the WoW boys have moved over to Final Fantasy 14. So it's like, oh my God, they are literally printing money right now, and it's insane. And I'm so happy for him because the game, whenever it first came out, I mean, a lot of people know the story. That's why it's called A Realm Reborn, because they destroyed the game and brought it back even better. And I'm so happy that they did.
I want to also quantify just how literal it means when you say they destroyed the game. In the original Final Fantasy 14, they destroyed the world.
Absolutely.
Like they destroyed the world in game.
Yep, they used lore to show how they destroyed the game. The game went down for like, I can't remember how long it was, and then they brought it back with 2.0. And it was freaking awesome. And it even plays into the story. I'm not going to say what's up with it because y'all have to experience it. But man, it's so cool. Like, I'm just blown away by it. I've never had an experience with an MMO, and I've played a lot of MMOs. I've never had one this close to my heart. And I also play a bunny girl, so that makes me very happy. It's really weird with that game too, because like whenever you get your character right, whenever you get the character that you can vibe with, it's like the game changes for you. Because I did play a cat girl for a while to match Erica, but then whenever Bunny Girls came out, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try that, and I Fantasia'd. I never went back. It's just it fits with me, and I don't know why. It just works. It just works.
It just works.
Yeah, I was talking to, I was going to say a friend of mine. He's not a friend of mine. If I am a,
Parent?
okay, I have a question.
Acquaintance?
If I
Relative?
no, listen. If I am a son-in-law and there is another son-in-law, is that my brother-in-law?
Wait.
So there's two disconnects there. It's your family. So you're at one family. Wait, what do you mean? Wait, how do you mean in-law? You don't have any siblings.
Okay, well okay. So sorry, this is all recent. So Mal's sister got engaged.
Okay.
Recently. So, like, he's not my. Is that brother-in-law? Like, will he be my brother-in-law? Is that how it works?
Like probably like brother-in-law once removed or something along those lines.
Like brother-in-law-in-law? I think you have to say in-law twice.
Law.
Anyway, my brother-in-law-in-law
acquaintance.
Sorry, that was a long explanation to be like, he played Final Fantasy 14 too. That's all I had to add to this conversation.
That was like the explanation was more entertaining than the actual like finish.
That's true. We just went on a tangent and the story ended up being completely moot.
Yeah. Oh, Mal just sent me a text and says, Jesus, yes, I was your brother-in-law. Removed is a generational distance. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Well, he's my brother-in-law to be. Although if I say to be, it sounds like we are to be.
Like you're marrying your sister's.
Like I'm marrying Kyle.
Congratulations,
I'm not
Steven.
marrying Kyle. Anyway, yeah. Thanks,
Don't let Carly find out.
Oh God.
So go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I can bring this in at any time.
No, go ahead now because I'm gonna gush about a game, and we just went through like 10 minutes of that. So you go first.
Oh,
Sorry.
Okay. I just spent the weekend in Florida in the Orlando area because we were visiting with Mal's sister and my brother-in-law to be, but then also Mal's dad and stepmom. And that's completely irrelevant to what I'm going to say. But we came back from that today, and we stopped at Buc-ee's.
Oh yeah, dude.
You went to Buc-ee's,
and I ain't never been to a Buc-ee's before. And holy crap!
It's like a department store and a gas station, Steven.
I have no idea what this is.
So Buc-ee's is a gas station from Texas, which is now starting to appear in other parts of the U.S., and it's freaking crazy.
I'll send you an image of a Buc-ee's. They are nuts.
So, John, I want to put this into perspective for you.
Give me perspective.
250 gasoline pumps.
Yep.
250?
Yeah. They circle the building. There's like no parking. It's just gasoline pumps. And the building itself is the size of a Walmart.
Yep.
It's nuts.
And it's just a gas station.
Yeah, it's a gas station convenience store. Although they have they got like their own sort of like homegrown, not really homegrown, but like what do you call it? They serve food there.
Yeah. Oh, they have food. They have fudge. They have like chocolates. Like
they have folks in there making Texas barbecue.
Yep.
There's like a pit. You go in and they're like, "You need some brisket?" And I'm like, "No, I need a Coke." Where the hell am I?
You know what's really funny? I remember
Another dimension.
you bring up Buc-ee's, and I was thinking to myself, why the hell does it remind me of Katamari? And on a long drive one time, I was in a Buc-ee's parking lot eating food, watching you and Mal play Katamari, Steven.
Dude, like
Tom, you have an incredible memory.
I went to a Buc-ee's for the first time. You probably went to the same one I did, because I went to the Buc-ee's for the first time whenever we were coming back from Orlando as well, and I was completely blown away by that. Like, I mean, I've been to big gas stations because, you know, we're from the U.S., but dude, there's just I think it's a Texan chain, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I was driving down to moving down to Austin, like, we kept seeing, like, it seemed like we had no idea what Buc-ee's was because we're from the Northeast. So, like, we were driving down through Texas and we kept seeing these billboards that were like, Buc-ee's, you know, it's this far away. Buc-ee's in 15 miles. Oh, you're coming up on Buc-ee's. And we're like, what the hell is Buc-ee's? We finally look it up and we're like, a gas station?
Yep.
And like, I don't know if anyone else is going to know these names. Jared will, because he's from the Southeast. When I think of like big gas stations, I think of Love's. I think of Flying J. Yep. I think like Pilot. There's these gas stations, which those are the ones I always like to stop at because they're big, they're bright, they have like plenty of gas. I don't like to stop the little ones when I'm on the road. But like Buc-ee's dwarfs them.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's so much bigger. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like
Buc-ee's is
it's actually ridiculous. Like
Buc-ee's is living proof of the saying everything's bigger in Texas.
Amen. Also, they have a really funny named item that you can buy there. They have it on one of the signs. They say Buc-ee's, home of the beaver nuggets, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop there and figure out what the heck that is. It turns out it's just like, what
it's
is
like
it?
A caramel crunchy.
Yeah, it's like
thing.
frick. I'm trying to remember.
They're like Cheetos.
I don't want I don't want beaver nuggets in my Google search history, but here we go.
Yeah, it's like caramel corn pops but bigger.
Okay, yeah, I see them now.
Yeah. So I actually since we've been getting mail for like 10 years, folks actually sent in beaver nuggets years and years and years ago.
Nice.
And there was like a little care package of stuff from Buc-ee's, and I was like, what is Buc-ee's? And like only today, I've went that entire years of my life, and only today do I now understand the importance and scope of what a Buc-ee's is.
People, I gotta interrupt you here. People in the chat are being like, "That's what incognito's for." That doesn't hide it from my ISP.
Yeah,
the incognito is to hide your porn habits from people inside your house.
No, the FBI still knows what you got no matter what, so you're fine. You might as well just accept it.
Listen, man, like let them just be in their false sense of security. Okay, Tom, you don't tell them the secret.
Mal said that we're getting a Buc-ee's outside of Florence. I don't know if that means anything to you, Jared. I don't know how far that is, but that's closer than Jacksonville, which is that's the one we went to today. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually. We don't usually get like massive chains like that in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Like the nearest, I would say like another big chain that I wish we had more around here. Dave and Buster's. Like there's only one in like Greenville, which sucks because I'm like 4 hours away from the nearest arcade.
We got the Dave and Buster's in Myrtle Beach.
Did I just
you do, but that's still about 4 hours away. So.
Oh yeah, that's. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's one right down the road.
Yeah,
I was looking at Buc-ee's and I just gotta. What? Wikipedia just might have blown the lid on this whole thing. Buc-ee's pronounced Busey's.
Oh, that's
like Gary Busey.
Okay.
That's a very recent meme. Okay, so I kind of went down the Buc-ee's rabbit hole or the Buc-ee's hole. I went into Buc-ee's hole recently.
Please stop talking about Buc-ee holes, please.
This is something super recent. There was a TikTok, and I can't even begin to explain what a TikTok is. I had to learn about that too. But
how do you not know what a TikTok is?
There's a TikTok that just occurred. TikTok is basically a long vine. So a TikTok just occurred. And what happened was it was this family that went on vacation. They went into the Buc-ee's and they're like, look at this. Look at all the Buc-ee's. This is so cool. But they didn't say Buc-ee's when they were on their way out. They're like, oh, this is so cool. This place is called Boosie's. And because of that, people thought that was really funny, and now they've edited the Wikipedia page. But it's
Why?
actually Buc-ee's.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's Buc-ee's, man. Like that's not like a weird C sound. It's Buck. Like Nabuses. It's not.
Yeah.
Listen, I wouldn't expect. I figured Wikipedia would have better security than that.
No, it has none. Like none at
Yeah.
all.
You literally
just go-
can do whatever
I
you
mean,
want on
they
that website.
protect a page, but that's infrequent.
Don't you
because-
have like a rule, John, to not edit
Yeah.
Wikipedia?
This Twitch channel specifically has a rule to not vandalize Wikipedia articles because that was happening back in like
Yeah.
2013, 2014.
Oh, jeez.
That's crazy. That is actually a thing. But you know that the rules are there because it's happened once. We don't want it to happen again. So
It was more than once.
I mean,
It was definitely
like
more
that-
than once.
That happens so much with content creators though, like with the Game Grumps, where like the Qumran somebody edited the Qumran caves where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found, edited to say they were dug by Dan from Game Grumps.
Yep. Oh my god.
I mean, the thing is, if you vandalize Wikipedia, the only outcome is that it will get changed back immediately, and then you will be IP banned from editing Wikipedia. Like,
Yep.
It's the only outcome.
Usually,
there is no
yeah.
other. I mean, except for the brief comedy.
The
Brief comedy,
There's brief
and you're not
comedy.
allowed to edit anything on Wikipedia.
You know, I'm gonna shill for Wikipedia here. Donate to Wikipedia.
Yeah, they have a big old thing on their page right now saying like, "Hey, we are literally like we need money
Because like here's
it's
the
free."
thing. Here's the thing with the reason Wikipedia is the way that it is now is from viewer donations. If
Yeah.
they ran ads on there, then like they would probably have to run it under the guise of being like, you have to edit this page so it puts it in a more positive light. Donate to Wikipedia.
Yeah, legit.
We
They're
ask
good people.
you humbly to help. We know 98% of people will ignore this message, but be the rare exception who donates $2.75.
Mm-hmm. The two things online that I can say, hey, go and throw a couple bucks at right now are Wikipedia and OBS Studio.
Yep.
Because OBS
Yeah.
Studio, I mean, that's the reason why I'm even able to get my audio to motion Dan. So, yeah, like those are like, especially if you've ever watched a stream or if you've ever streamed yourself, you know that OBS Studio has allowed a lot of people to make a living. So
yeah. OBS is like open source free streaming software, and the dude like never like Wikipedia puts on the pages like, you know, please donate. The dude who makes OBS never asks for money, and he has places to donate for him, but they're so hard to find.
Yeah, it is actually kind of like funny. He's like, you know, you could give if you want, but like you just can't find where to give. But they're great though, like good people, really, really good people, and I mean, it's all open source. Like OBS is fantastic. So
And I also want to, because some people don't know the difference. We're talking about OBS proper, not
Yeah.
Streamlabs OBS, which
Yeah.
had to rename because of the backlash they got from basically stealing the OBS name.
Oh, what did they
Yeah.
rename it to?
Oh, I don't remember. It says on their site what they renamed it to, like Streamlabs Desktop or something like that.
We have a link in the chat if y'all want to contribute anything at this moment. Like, and once again, no pressure, of course, but just two things that are really, really awesome to support right now are Wikipedia and especially OBS Studio. But mostly more so Wikipedia right now because they're a little bit low, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good stuff. Good stuff, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, dude. Tom the Tooth Fairy. I love
I
that.
am the
That's
Tooth
great.
Fairy.
Teeth for y'all.
Well, yeah, I've been considering going down the VTuber route. Maybe he'll be a Tooth Fairy.
Do it.
Oh.
What are you gonna do
I mean-
for a VTuber model? Like, are you gonna do just a cartoon version of yourself? Are you gonna continue using the poorly drawn Tom?
I'm not gonna. The poorly drawn Tom will come back on occasion. You know, I kind of want to go like pretty boy anime, character. You know.
Do it.
You're gonna be a wolf boy or a cat boy or a dog boy
a wizard.
or a Batman boy. Okay, wizard.
Be a wizard.
I'll take Wizard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a bunny boy whenever hopefully by the end of the year.
I'm just not even gonna say for me because like it's like okay, which character do you want to be? You got like 500 options. Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, it would cost a ton to commission the models, but let's spin the wheel of which persona is John today.
Oh my god, that if I had unlimited money, I would do that because that would kind of be incredible. It's just like, all right, what mood is John in today? Kaiju mood. Okay, all right.
Hydra John, let's go.
So the scene is just a bunch of buildings and like it's the game's being projected on like a billboard and I'm in the background smashing buildings. It's great.
That's actually brilliant.
Yeah, Rosa's just chilling in space. Like you can just see stars in the background reflecting on the moon for the game and everything. Like here's the thing, like if you throw an alt at me, I can probably come up with like a decent like layout and everything for it. It's just that all costs money. It costs so much money because
money that could be it's money that could be put toward buying video games.
For those who don't know how much like work goes into even just like a 2D VTuber model, there's so many layers. I think Reese's model, the horse mom model, is like 400 layers because like every piece of hair moves, like anything that has physics move, like has its own layer, stuff like that. It's a lot of design work, and then that all has to be animated on top of that.
Even something as simple as like the Tom face is still like 20 layers.
It's, I mean, and that's the thing. If you are able to do it, it's really cool. And I can't say that because I've never tried it yet. But from what I've seen and from what I've heard, like the VTuber community as a whole is just super fun and super nice. Like there's so many nice people in that community, and like I've seen, dude. Have y'all ever seen like? Who was it? It was actually Baru. Admiral Baru had himself as a panda being held up by an anime girl. So the anime girl wasn't talking, but it was him as the panda talking. And I'm like, that's so brilliant. And that's what I love about that whole thing is there's so much creativity to be had behind that. And the community just thrives with it. You know, it's really, really cool.
If someone wants to do a VTuber stream and the VTuber stuff is very expensive, might I suggest, and this idea is free, a sock puppet. Because
Steven, I'm glad you brought that up.
You can use your hand. Now you can't play unless you can play a game one-handed. I don't know. I guess like Dead or Alive Extreme you probably or something, but
you need two hands for that.
You know, you use the sock puppet and you can do a little stream.
Stephen George, I'd like to direct you to the Chuck E. Cheese streams.
Oh no.
Where somebody had a puppet of Chuck, and from what I understand, he doesn't talk at all. But it's just someone like puppeteering and making it look like the puppet is playing the game. However, there was one particular instance where the puppet just turns to the camera and goes, "Poggers!" And then that was the only thing it's ever said.
Wait, like it didn't speak prior to that?
As far as I can tell, no.
That right there is good branding. Like in the weirdest way, that is pretty good branding.
And he was playing like Fall Guys at the time, and it was like in between rounds. And like after he said "poggers," like the Fall Guys characters were making these weird noises, but he's puppeting the mouth with it. Like it sounds like he's whining after saying "poggers" because he's like he's gonna get fired from this gig or something.
Dude, I'm gonna have to go look that up because I've not heard of this. But that sounds.
I'm surprised you
awesome.
haven't seen that. Like straight up, like he just looks at the camera. I'm gonna go see if I can find a GIF of it.
It's just like the first thing you find on YouTube, where I think if you type in Chuck E. Cheese on
I got it.
You got to type in like Chuck E. Cheese poggers like to search that up.
That was an easy search. I got it. Let me see if I can get it on screen here. Yeah, like just I don't think it's gonna zoom in. It's not gonna zoom in, but like. That's just it right there. Like you're for audio. I'll give audio for this.
Poggers.
Oh my god.
Poggers. Poggers. Poggers.
There you go. For those who have not, for those watching the video version, you've seen it now. You can hear it too.
Let it
Sorry
play
for
a little
the
bit more
audio
though, because like the Fall Guy character's like making noises and he's puppeting the mouth with like the whines that the Fall Guy dude is saying. It's so weird.
Oops.
Bogart.
Oh, okay, Mr. Bean, there we go.
Yeah, I accidentally clicked next, and apparently next to Chuck E. Cheese is Mr. Bean in a Whole Foods store. Okay, never mind. I missed that episode of Mr. Bean apparently.
So anyway, the sock puppet though.
Yeah, but yeah, you can do that, not say anything, and then turn your sock puppet toward the camera and say "poggers," and suddenly 10,000 viewers.
Well, I know how breakfast stream is starting in the morning.
Freaking Stephen George, visionary. That's all I gotta say about that.
Nerd Art and Games has such amazing doodles that come out very quickly. Which presumably Steven is holding a sock puppet in that drawing.
Now, if you're still listening, can you make me a sock puppet?
I don't think I'm gonna have one done for you for tomorrow.
Oh my god.
We got some.
And tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah. Tomorrow's breakfast stream.
Perfect.
Good lord.
No regrets.
I played the Monster Rancher remake. Remaster, more like remaster.
How is it?
It's first off, off the bat, it looks like it was made for mobile devices, even on PC. Just because of like there's on either side of it, there's like touchscreen controls, but it is the quality of life choices that they add to it are really good. Like no longer having to put a CD in it. It's just like a database of CDs and PS1 games. And weirdly on the PC version, Switch games, you punch those in and then it just produces a random monster for you. Yes, sadly no Weird Al. On stream today, I was just going through like random, not really random, but like my chat was saying like, oh, you do this album, and I did like 4 albums back to back, and 3 of them were rare monsters that would normally need like special CDs for them. Like, you get like a certain game that would like work for it. One of them was what was the Smash Mouth album we did?
Astro Lounge?
Yeah, Astro Lounge had a rare monster in it. I don't remember if it was the human centipede domino thing, the zebra dinosaur, or the kung fu rabbit. But
all great options.
But one of those was that, yeah.
Talk about like paid DLC though. Like freaking you have to buy like a separate album that has nothing to do with the game back in the day in order to make it work.
But the thing is with back in the day was that like it was just the sort of thing where it's like you'd use your CD collection and then people would figure out which ones had the rare monsters and be like, here it is, it's in this one. And then if you were that dedicated to the game, that's when you'd have to be paying the DLC for it, like basically like the Amiibo-esque DLC in order to get a golem that's dressed like a football player.
But here's the thing. Here's what they could have done. They could have just made it so much worse. They could sell booster packs and call them CD binders. So you just buy CD binders that have 10 random codes for it that associate with some real life CD or something like that. And it's like, oh man, this is the Britney Spears one that unlocks like the custom Pixie or whatever. All that jazz.
Oh my god. They could sell those little tiny CD things from the mid 90s that had like one song on them.
Hit clips. You're thinking of hit clips.
Hit clips.
Oh my god.
2 streams in a row, baby. We talked about hit clips.
Bring back hit clips.
We talked about
just
these on
for
Monday.
Monster Rancher.
Dude,
what about those electric toothbrushes that produce sound that goes through your teeth and into your ears? Have you seen those?
It only plays
still
half
make
of a
those.
Justin Bieber song.
Yeah, it's like brush for 2
Or
minutes.
Hillary Duff. Did
Hillary
she do a
Duff.
song? Or
Yeah,
was
oh,
she
yeah.
only a
Hillary
Disney
Duff's done a
star?
bunch of songs, yeah.
Listen, if you had any like sway at Disney when on Disney Channel in like the mid 2000s, you produced a song.
yeah, fair.
Tooth Tunes, that's what it was called.
Dude.
Tooth Tunes. Oh my god. That's perfect.
I had one hit clips that was given to me by a friend of mine, and it was Dancing Queen. and it was one line of Dancing Queen. like one chorus. That's all you got, man. It was horrible.
Those things had to have been expensive. They were a physical product.
Yeah.
I bet they were like $7.
I'm thinking back to Tooth Tunes now. Those had one song on it that played for 2 minutes. How many kids do you think stopped brushing their teeth because of their Tooth Tunes?
I think the problem is that you would have association for the rest of your life. Like anytime into adulthood, you would brush your teeth and you would just be like, baby, and you'd be like, please get it out of my skull. You'd never be able to stop it.
That's the problem. They were
like,
injecting it right into your brain too, straight through your jawline.
It's like what is it when it's like those conspiracies you hear about of people picking up radio signals on their fillings.
Yeah, but imagine that the radio is just Justin Bieber singing "Baby," but only a portion of it forever.
Oh,
his word is in the mix.
God.
Oh man.
Oh man, what was the famous Ricky Martin song?
Living the Vida Loca?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, hearing the same thing over and over again reminded me that there was a day on I feel like it was Christmas Day. This was when I was young. We had been driving and we were going through the radio stations, and Livin' La Vida Loca was on. And it was a radio station that we normally listen to that would normally not play that song. We were like, that's weird. So we went to a different radio station, and then we came back a few minutes later and it was still playing. We went to a different radio station. We came back a few minutes later, it was still playing. And then we eventually realized that whatever had happened, that song was on repeat for the entire day. And I believe it was like Christmas Day. I don't know if is it a Christmas song? I'm not familiar with
No,
it. It's not like living the Christmas spirit.
Good
is
life.
that the translation?
So it's like living the good life or the high life.
Yeah. Or live
crazy
not
no, live the
living
crazy
the
life.
Christmas-
crazy life.
Loca.
Yeah.
Like living holiday time. Okay, that's not what it is. Well, anyway, that is a short story and it's over, but I wanted to tell you about it.
No, our radio station here did the exact same thing, but with a different song. Back when, was it 2012 when Nostradamus predicted like the world was going to end?
Oh yeah.
Our radio station here, X92.9, they played "It's the End of the World as We Know It"
By REM, yeah.
nonstop.
Dude,
and the best part was they committed to the bit the entire day. They didn't tell anyone they were going to do this. And then when they normally have like a top 6 at 6 bit at the end, we're like, here's the top 6 songs of the day. And they committed to it where every 6 songs, all 6 of the songs were the same fucking song. It was so funny.
Casey
That's
Kasem's
awesome.
top 40.
And they're all freaking at the end of the world.
Have you guys ever had like a regular radio station that you'd listen to all the time, and then one day you get in your car, turn it on, and it's a different radio station? Like it was like that channel was like sold to somebody else?
I can't say that I have, but I've heard of that happening.
There was a classic rock station I used to listen to all the time in Connecticut. I still remember it. It was WCCC The Rock. And one day I get in my car and turn it on, and Christian rock is playing instead of AC/DC. And I'm like, well, there goes that.
AC/DC became ACJC.
It became AMEN. Oh my god, I love this is a great meme. It's the friendship with blank has ended meme, but it was with Steven. And it says friendship with Waffle House has ended. Bucky's is my best friend.
I mean, so like Bucky's was great. I don't want anyone to think I'm saying Bucky's is great. However, Bucky's represents a home state pride of Texas. It is not a pride that I have. Waffle House, however, is a pride of the Southeast that I do have. So it's a different situation. I can enjoy walking into a Bucky's and being like, man, what a marvel of human creation.
Yeah, you know, they say that the slogan for Texas is "Don't mess with Texas," but that's they don't have the whole thing. The full slogan is "Don't mess with Texas, we'll cry."
Yeah, that's it.
Cute. That's a big cue.
That's like 7,400 things what the shirt says on there. No, 1,612. Okay, there you go.
If it was
Is the-
8008, then I'd lose my mind.
All right, fan art of Jared as a Vaporeon with a giant bust in a shirt that has the Q for Final Fantasy 14 on it. Just gotta
Jared-
put that out there for the audio listeners.
Jared, did you see that keychain that Reese retweeted yesterday? Of
Yeah!
it
Oh my
was
God, I
the Q
saw
symbol would
that.
have said, Q position line 69420.
Dude, that was funny. Oh my god. Funny thing about that, I've actually hit a crit for 69,420 before the stat crunch, and I posted it on Twitter and it freaking exploded.
I was thinking you better have like fired off air horns during that. Just press a button.
Oh,
Just
dude.
brr, 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 brr.
I lost my mind when I hit it too, because I saw it come up on the screen and I was like, wait, did that say what I think it did? So I went back in my freaking attack log, and it was I think it was like fire 4 crit for 69,420, and I'm like, yes! Let's go. Because like what's funny is a friend of mine, he had a bunch of people in his FC, or basically his guild, trying to hit that number for like weeks for some reason, and I just happened to hit it randomly in one of my things, and they lost their crap over it. It was funny as heck.
Also, I just want to say a special thank you to Tom, because Tom has been so diligent over the past year and a half of doing Disc Only to interject when we are laughing at something that is visual, to let the audio folks know what is happening. And as someone who recently experienced the audio version of Disc Only podcast, I want to say that it makes a big difference, because when everyone's laughing, I'm like, what are they laughing at? I'm driving a car. What are they laughing at? And Tom is like, so this is what's happening. I'm like, thank you, Tom. It's great. Thank you for explaining.
That's my job here at Disc Only, in the collective mall that is Disc Only, right next to the Outback Stab House, and floor below Q Sharp. I'm committed to this bit that like the Disc Only podcast is recorded from a mall.
Might as well be at this point.
That seems like the type of
But then if we have a
venue
mall,
that
we have to
would
fill up
choose.
all the stores. Is the thing, because it's
Like,
our
that's
mall.
that's the best part. We get to come up with them like naturally, like over the course of this. There's also something else there, but I can't remember what. Something about some kind of like athletic center or something
All
like
right,
that. But
well,
I
while
can't
you figure
remember
that
off the
out,
top of my
I'll
head.
be right back. Figure out what an athletics place is called.
Sounds good.
I can't remember something like a homicide athletic center or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like it's like crime exercise.
Maybe.
Crimer
like-
size.
Crimer side.
I think that's one of the Pokemon from the new gen. Crimer size.
Manslaughter Fitness.
Oh no, we can't be giving it like good names. Bloodbath and Beyond.
No, that's the weapons store in the mall.
No, but like you were saying that there was another store. That's
Yeah.
one of them. I get it though. I know what you're getting at.
That was from like, I can't take credit for that. I've been taking credit for that for like over a year now, but I can't take credit for that. That was from a post I found about like the commandments of D&D, and one of them was like the weapons store is not called Bloodbath and Beyond.
Personally, I'm really looking forward to the day that someone does a mod of the PlayStation 1 game Top Shop, and it changes all of the stores in the mall to these stores.
Oh my god,
Inevitable.
dude! What if it was a mod for Dead Rising?
Oh,
yeah.
man,
That'd be great,
dude,
too.
that'd be cool. We are very easily entertained here at this
Oh,
point.
We're coming up with concepts for mods of like trying to like reskin entire games to make it fit our mall aesthetic podcast here.
I mean, the important thing is coming up with the concept, not doing any of the actual work. I'm the ideas guy. I got this idea. Someone else do it. I got this idea.
This is your entire relationship with Chaz, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's like, Chaz, what if a computer, this is how I talk, but only to Chaz. What if a computer could make snack cakes?
Yeah.
Could it
This
do
is just
that?
the
I knew you were gonna
dirt
bring up
outside.
Tiny Eddie. Oh my god!
Hey, welcome back, John.
That Tiny Eddie bit is so good.
It's fun.
I also remember the when I think it was when you were playing Pokemon Snap, the Who's That Pokemon bit. I don't remember if I donated for it or if somebody else did, but like when my substitute plush came up It's like, who's that Pokemon? It's Sebi. And you're like, who the hell is Sebi?
I mean, I'm sure that I knew at some point, but as is typical with most things, I just forget them. Like, I just forget things. Things get brought up, and I'm like, what is that? I've never heard that in my life. It's fine.
Oh, my God.
Oh, hey, I have something. This is completely unrelated, but I thought about it today, and I thought of all of you. Not because I thought of you, but because I was like, well, this disco-only thing's happening tonight. Maybe I bring it up. It's about pee.
So I'm glad you thought about pee. I'm glad thinking of us makes you think of pee. I'm glad.
Well, it's not so much that thinking of you makes me think of pee, but
it makes you pee. That's what it is. I get it. It's a grandpa thing.
I went to I stopped at several rest areas because it's a long drive. I drove home from Orlando today, and it's like 500 plus miles. And I stopped at a few rest areas, and one thing I noticed is, I don't know if any of you have, I don't know what the term for it is. I'm sure there's some sort of term for it. It's like it's like urinal nervousness, where like some folks
pee shy.
They have
it's just
to
called
go,
being pee shy.
Pee shy, yeah. So some folks have to go into a stall to pee, and there's no shame in it. I'm not going to shame anyone over that. Like, that's just how some people are. I've noticed that sometimes I get that, but most times I don't. And I think I figured it out today. And what it is that if I go into the bathroom and I see the row of urinals, and I see the people that are at the urinal, and I go to the free urinal, I'm good. However, if I'm peeing next to somebody, like it's so crowded I have to pee next to somebody, and they leave and are replaced with a new person, everything changes. It's like I cannot wrap my mind around, like, there's someone new over there. I haven't adjusted to the idea of this person. And, like, I will stop peeing. I'll be like, oh, God, no. And then I'll have to awkwardly leave the bathroom and, like, take a lap around the building to go back into the building and wait for them to be gone so I can pee. I don't know why that is. And it's only if it's so crowded that, because normally you wouldn't be, like, right next to people, but if it's so busy, then you're going to have to be. And as long as I see the person, whenever I go up, I'm like, okay, that's who I'm standing next to. I'm fine. But if they leave and it's someone new, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
This is so. I just imagine that you're standing there. Some guy leaves, someone takes his place, and then suddenly, just like the stream stops. You're looking around frantically, like your eyes are darting everywhere. You're sweating nervously, and in your head, you're going, "This is not who I made the contract with."
You know what I think it is? I think it's that, and maybe this is getting into like super like deep like evolutionary stuff, is that when you pee, you feel vulnerable. So you're standing at a urinal, and whenever, if you know what's there, you're like, okay, I can adjust to this. However, as soon as that person that is gone and there's that open urinal, I start thinking, oh God, someone at any moment could come up and stand at its urinal, and I don't know who it is. Could be, they might kill me. I'm super vulnerable. And I guess that's part of what it is. I didn't know if this was something that anyone else had ever thought about.
That is an animal thing. Today. You're right. That's an animalistic thing. We had to do this with Bagel recently after he got injured. We had to be around and guard the bathroom door so he could use the litter box.
I was about to ask if Steven was like a dog or a cat or something like that, because that's what animals do. Like they'll look to you when they're going to the bathroom, because it's like, all right, let me know if something's gonna swoop down and grab me.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, I don't know if this scenario would change if I knew the person. Maybe, like, if some random person left and then like Dan showed up, might be completely different. Because I mean, like, oh, that's Dan. I'll let my guard down. Be like, I can pee again. Dan is near. But if it's just some random person, it's a little jostling.
Really Steven, look at the screen, please.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Tom, be sure to tell.
Oh yeah, no, it's an image of breakfast stream, but Steven's head's replaced with a sock puppet. Oh, the hair is lined up perfectly with it.
It's got little googly eyes. It's got a penny for a nose.
If only there was a sock that you could. It's a ski mask. I just need to wear a ski mask, and I'll become the sock puppet. That's my VTuber. I can do a VTube, and it's so much cheaper. This is a great idea. I just need to get a ski mat.
All you need is a balaclava, and suddenly you're a VTuber. Oh my God.
Perfect.
Now,
Oh my God.
Steven, what is your lore? Are you a skier or a bank robber?
Oh, I'm skiing to the robbery, Tom. The banks are all downhill from here, folks.
Speaking
my
of
God.
skiing, I'm
They need
going
to
back
go
to
up. I
Connecticut.
don't think they've got one of those little chairs lined up that you can ride all the way back up the top of the hill.
Speaking of skiing, though, I'm going back to Connecticut for the holidays, and you know what that means.
Oh my God, it may finally happen.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what is
Well,
it?
I don't want to promise anybody anything, but if
No,
it does,
it may happen. I'm
wouldn't
looking
that be
into it.
something? Wouldn't that be something?
Yep.
I think the funniest thing is that at this point, I don't even do Morning Mario anymore.
Yeah.
But that's fine. We can bring it back for one episode.
I'll talk to you about because Emil had an idea for it, so I'll talk to you about that after the podcast.
Sounds good. We've talked. I don't feel the need to explain this joke because we have talked about it on
Chat
Disco.
seems to know because they're all saying I took a few liberties. So I
Yep.
think
Yeah, we
chat
talked about it like
remembers.
a year ago.
Meanwhile, Jared's just like, wait, what?
So I have a small idea of what it is. I can't remember it though. I can barely remember what I did yesterday. So
Long story short, Steven had a dream where he couldn't get Morning Mario done, so I volunteered to do it instead. And instead
That's
of it
right.
being
Okay.
Mario Maker, I was on a mountain giving snowboarding tips.
thank you. I needed the word dream, and I got it. At that point, I was like, okay, yeah, that's right, because we were talking about freaking crazy dreams.
It is still to this day one of the best dreams I've ever had. Love it. Would
Well,
recommend.
I mean, I still think think. Well, I mean, it was only like a month or two ago, but I still think back to the dream I had about the Smash Brothers reveal.
Oh, shoot, what did you see in the dream? I'm trying to remember.
There was so much to unpack there. First off, there was the tribute to every time Waluigi appeared in a Simpsons episode.
Kim, right.
and Marge finding out like a bunch of conspiracy theories on Mr. Burns' computer that turned out to be true. Then the reveal of the character that was dedicated to the fans who made iCarly the 9th most requested franchise to be put in Smash Brothers. A portal opening up in a rainy city in the trailer, and somebody in the crowd going, Yu-Gi-Oh! And out of the portal coming a light blue small Sonic OC wearing a leather vest and having a skeletal tattoo on their chest.
Dear God.
And then that's when I woke up. Oh, no, that's not when I woke up. It was because it wasn't a Sonic skin. It was a skin for Monokuma, who was renamed to Teddy, and he had like 16 skins. That's when I woke up.
I'm so impressed that you can I'm impressed at your memory in general, Tom. This was actually a subject of discussion.
Trust me, it is selective. It is a very selective memory.
These edibles ain't crap.
Mao and I were talking about your memory very specifically when we were we were listening to Discordly podcast. That's why. I was like, why does this all feel so familiar? And you were recalling again. I listened to the episode last month. You were recalling episodes of Scooby-Doo, and me and Mao were like, how the hell can anyone remember anything? And Tom knows all of these things. I was so impressed.
Here's the thing. There's a lot I can't remember. When I was playing Monster Rancher today, like it 60 seconds passed between when I last trained my monster and the next day, and I'm like, did I train my monster yesterday or did we rest? What did I train my monster with? And I can't remember. But things from like 20 years ago, or like ranging from like a month ago to like 20 years ago, I'll remember perfectly.
It's a very selective memory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
My
like
short-term memory
Reese and I
sucks.
have basically memorized like the first like 8 seasons of The Simpsons.
Same. Yeah, I'm there with you.
I remember. I don't really remember TV shows very well, other than Futurama. But there's an episode of DuckTales that I remember almost perfectly, and it's the one where they go into space. Like, I don't know if I've talked about that, but I used to be able to recite that entire episode where they go into space and like meet space aliens. Like, I don't know why that was so prominent in my childhood memory, but it was.
God, there's other stuff too that like where it'll just like come back in like flashes. Like one thing that just came to mind recently, I used to have a VHS of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, It was 3 episodes based around like spooky monsters and whatnot. It was the one where Bowser was a vampire, then Bowser was Frankenstein, and then subsequently became Frankenstein's monster. And the last episode was where Bowser was a cyborg, and while he's a cyborg, he's listing off all of the like upgrades he has, and like the last thing he says is like, and even super toes, and then Mario goes, "Watch out, his toes are loaded."
Dude, I've only seen 2 episodes of the Super Mario Super Show. The one is whenever they go into the underwater world and there's the fish princess who is half fish on the wrong end, and the game show episode. And I don't know if that is the same one, but it's the one where Luigi is like, he is a game show host, and then they brought in like a famous game show host to like snap him out of it because he gets hit in the face with the boiler. Like, do y'all remember that by any chance?
Was that one of the live action? Was that the animated portion or the live action?
The live action portion. The live action portion was the game show, but the animated portion was the one where they were underwater with the fish people. And then there was one where Princess Peach actually gets a power star. And like, that's all I can remember. Those are the only 2 episodes, because we had a video store where they only had that one VHS of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Okay, I'm glad you qualified that, because it was a video store with one VHS. And one VHS was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I think there's a reason that went out of business.
No, ironically, they're still in freaking business. Wow. Barely, but they are.
Is that a family video?
I think it's like, oh shoot, it's like,
is it like a pop shop? Okay,
Video Warehouse is what it was called.
Okay.
But it was so funny because like that was the one video that I would get every single time, because my granddad and my grandma and granddad would go there all the time. And that is what I would pick out every single time. I would just get the same one. I would return it. They would, and they knew me at that point. They would put it back on the shelf so I could go and take it back out. They were such nice people. And then I would go and get it out again for the same thing. I'd go and watch it like every day. It was like my favorite freaking thing, because it was the only Mario thing that I had back in that time, because I didn't have an SNES whenever I was very young. This is back whenever I was like 7 or 8, like super young. But then I ended up getting a Super NES and a Sega Genesis with Sega Channel, which was the best thing ever. And that was whenever I really started like really figuring out that I like video games. Was at that point.
Was that so Sega Channel, is that like an online service?
So Sega Channel,
you ever heard of it?
dude,
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
Sega Channel was the best thing, because what it did was you would get like a different rotation of games every month with the service. And it was like it was like an attachment that you put onto your Sega Genesis, and then it plugged into a phone line. And what is crazy about it is that Sega actually had to figure out a way to condition the phone lines to get those megabyte files onto your system. So if they would have patented that, I don't know if I've talked about this on Disc Only before, but I know if they would have patented that, they would have probably been one of the biggest companies in the world, because their process for conditioning the phone line actually paved the way for high-speed internet.
Jesus
I
Christ.
thought it was cable line for some reason.
Was it cable line? It was either
you
one.
had one, so I'm going to trust your memory.
Did it plug into a phone jack or a coax port?
It used coaxial.
It was coaxial. Okay. Then they had to do that in order to get the thing. Sorry, not a phone line, a coax cable. So they had to condition the coax cables, and the process, I believe, now I might be 100% wrong about this, but this is what I've heard in passing, is that the way that they did it, if they would have patented that, they would have had like the market on high-speed internet.
I'm kind of wondering if they would have either abandoned video games or put them on the back burner, and instead of like Spectrum, we'd have like Sonic speed internet.
Dude, imagine if freaking Sonic the Hedgehog was the mascot for high-speed internet, dude.
And also imagine like the when the GameCube had like the LAN adapter, and like when the Wii was like first getting online, and like the Sega Online company is like, oh, it's weird. For some reason, Nintendo products don't work on our internet service.
I think the funny thing is that so many people associate, online video gaming and online services with video games as a fairly recent thing. But as Jared points out, it's dated, and it's even earlier than the Sega Channel, because even the Famicom had a modem. Like there was you could do like online horse betting on the Famicom, and it's crazy that all of this stuff is built in. Like the ports underneath your systems could connect to the internet. And we went through several generations of consoles where like we didn't have internet connectivity. Like the N64 doesn't have that, but earlier systems did.
Yep.
Dude,
it's really bizarre.
So, go ahead.
Part of it I think is because like I don't know what Nintendo was thinking when because they had so many online systems. They had it on the NES, they had it on the Famicom, they had it on the Super Famicom, they had it on the Game Boy Color. You can connect your Game Boy Color to a phone. And then, like, it just dropped off because they were just like, I think we explored everything the internet has to offer. We're not doing it anymore.
Did you know that I have one of those things? Like, I have a Shark MX, which allows you to send email from your Game Boy. I bought one. I bought one new because I thought that was cool, I guess. And, like, you could connect your Pop 3 server or whatever and download your email and review it and send email from your Game Boy. And in retrospect, like as an adult, I'm like, Steven, that's the dumbest thing. You would never do that. And I did it very few times as a child, but I still have it. It's on the shelf. And it obviously doesn't work anymore because all of that stuff is offline and has been for a million years.
I wonder if it still has collector's value though.
Oh yeah, of course.
Maybe.
Wow, man! I'm on the Sega Channel wiki right now. By the way, donate to Wikipedia. Like the launch date for it was 1994. Oh my god!
Wow.
I was 4 years old when this came out. Frick.
Does it say how long the service lasted for before they shut it down?
Until 1998. So I was actually on the right edge of where I started playing video games right there, between 7 and 8.
It took it down right before they launched the Dreamcast.
Yep.
Well, not right before. It's still like a year out, depending on what date it was. Because the Dreamcast, as I know from playing a modded version of Sonic Adventure that re-added all of the cut Dreamcast stuff back into the game, the Dreamcast came out $99.99 because one of the things on there was a pre-launch like Dreamcast thing that was like where Dreamcast logos were plastered all around Station Square. And if you touched one of them, it would say like, welcome to the Dreamcast pre-launch event. $99.99 is when the Dreamcast comes out. We got all sorts of things online. And there was just that stuff all over the place.
That's crazy. Huh.
Yeah, someone recently actually figured out a way to get the Sega Channel ROM to work in emulators, including letting you play games.
Whoa.
So I don't know if they actually just loaded the Sega Channel ROM itself with games and you could just use that as a menu to select it, but like there was footage around a couple months ago of them loading up Sega Channel and then downloading Street Fighter 2 and stuff like that. And Sega Channel always irked me a little bit here in North America because it's the reason we didn't get some physical versions of games. Like, we never got Mega Man The Wily Wars physically because it was a Sega Channel exclusive. Golden Axe 3, Alien Storm. I think there's a couple others, but those are the big three I can remember right now.
Wait, Golden Axe 3 was an exclusive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I remember playing it back on it.
Alien Soldier, not Alien Storm. Sorry, those are two different Genesis games.
Man, yeah, and ironically, I've only played the Wily Wars on, like, a stand-up arcade machine that had, like, a Raspberry Pi in it.
John, I'm assuming that you already saw that it was a few months ago that Wily Wars finally got a
official release. Yeah,
let's put in air quotes, official release.
Yeah, I think I passed on
it's
it because I've had a
it's
repro
just...
card of that for years. I'm like, that does what I need.
Yeah.
Huh.
All those companies that are like, yeah, we're going to re-release games that either never came out over here, or like, we're just going to re-release games that did come out over here for some reason. Like, is it Limited Run was starting to publish a bunch of random Natsume games? Like, Mark of the Ninja, or whatever the Shadow of the Ninja was for Game Boy Color. Amazing Penguin, Spanky's Quest. It's just like, neat.
They just did some Team 17 stuff because Worms Armageddon for Game Boy Color and N64.
The N64 and Game Boy Color versions, not like the original game, which you can still buy anyways. It's just like, these are the inferior versions, but collectors enjoy. Except collectors
Yeah,
want the original, so they don't care.
It's on top of that, like also just in terms of, I hate that in terms of what's it called, like archiving. Just being able to have like these things like on a file and like access to use when like nobody cares about them anymore.
Yeah, that's the hope.
That was the. I mean, like for me, what triggered that was the Scott Pilgrim game. I mean, that eventually came back around 10 years later, but like when that went off the game store and I couldn't even download it anymore, even though I bought it.
Yeah, that was a little bit upsetting. Oh, a lot of bit upsetting.
Which brings me to another point about how the fact that when we buy digital games, we don't own them. We're licensing them. The second that service goes down, you don't own those games anymore.
Yep, that's why I buy physical games still.
It's about the convenience, you know? Yep. And like, and that's the whole thing. They really push convenience whenever. Yeah, it's convenient until you can't do it anymore.
Well, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. As someone who does collect games a lot, like pretty much for a living, the average consumer is not gonna care about playing some game that they had on their 360 like 10 years from now.
That is true. Yeah,
there are some obvious exceptions. Like everyone really remembers Scott Pilgrim fondly, but the average consumer not gonna care. I'm actually curious. I legitimately want to know how well Scott Pilgrim sold, because I would love to know those numbers by comparison of the original release.
Yeah.
The other thing is that's one of the reasons that remakes and remasters end up doing probably as well as they do, is because most people don't have the original game anymore, because a new system comes out, they trade the system and the games, and like that's it. Average consumer, that's what happens.
Either that or the original hasn't aged well, and like a remaster changes up.
Oh, sure.
Final Fantasy VII is gonna take like 20 years to complete for the remake, but Final Fantasy VII, I could not get into the ATB system at all in that game. I played through the entire first disc, and I was just like, I think I'm done.
Fair enough. Like I'm one of those where it's like I do use digital download because I'm not a collector like in any way, shape, or form, and I also don't like that. I don't like clutter, because that's what it becomes for me, is clutter. And whenever I have to move places, like I have a couple of games on my like, you know, my wall of stuff, but I condense it all to one little wall of stuff instead of having it all over the place, because that's just not me. And you know, I mean, I guess it's just to each their own, right?
And Steven, remember when it was just one wall?
I've rediscovered some old photos from like 2 houses ago, or like when we lived in the apartment, and all of the games fit on like a shelf. And I showed Mao, and she's like, "What happened to us?" And I was like, "Something bad, something really bad."
As I look back, and I just have my 2 shelves of games that are probably going to get turned into more when I start collecting again.
Do I start counting shelves now or later?
No.
1, 2, 3.
Oh God.
What is the number for Sideways 8?
We'll check in with John at the end of the podcast when he's been counting all of his shelves.
My advice for folks that are on the fence, like, you know, digital versus physical for themselves personally, is think back to games that you purchased 10 to 15 years ago. How often do you play them? Because if you don't play them, you are probably totally fine to buy digital games. Like if it's not a thing about like preservation, or like, oh, I want to play this later, or having a physical thing on the shelf, it's totally fine to buy digital games, because you are likely not going to play them. Now, if you are, then consider buying a physical game, because you're the candidate to play it again. But a lot of people don't.
And that is like the only difference between it, really. It is literal personal preference. and
if you have the room.
Yeah, as well.
And what is 15 years ago now? Is that's Wii. That's the birth of the Wii. So like Wii.
In fact, the Wii just came out at this point.
Yeah, Wii and PS3 were 2006. So that was 15 years ago.
So if you are playing like now, if you are like, I'm playing Wii, I'm playing PS3 games, then like, okay. If you're still doing that, then next time you go to pick up a PlayStation game or a Switch game, get a physical version.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be my advice.
One thing that I find, I don't know how well the PS5 is doing compared to the Xbox Series X. But like, I remember at the beginning of that sort of console war with the Xbox One, and the PS4, I feel like Sony squandered a giant lead they had, and like Xbox was able to catch back up.
Yeah. Well, Xbox really shot themselves in the foot. Then they changed leadership. Phil Spencer took over, and then they've been playing catch up since. But the moves they've been making have been pretty good.
They've been really good.
Game Pass, I'm going to be honest, is one of the best deals out there right now. If you don't care about physical game collection, holy shit, get a Game Pass account. Like either for your PC or if you have an Xbox, do that. Because you get like, it's Sega Channel, but for modern games.
It's modern Sega Channel, pretty much.
Yeah. It is a darn good deal because like Erica's a much bigger gamer than me, and she has Game Pass, and she freaking loves it because she's just like, oh, I really want to try this game, but I don't really want to spend like $60 on it. Oh, it's on Game Pass. Sure, I'll go play it for a couple hours. Like, why not? And it's been a really awesome tool for her to experience stuff like that, you know, she hasn't been able to. I will say though that like the PS5, I wasn't expecting the PS5 to be such a wonderful console. The PS5 is a fantastic media center. Like, I love the like the way that it works and stuff. That's my personal preference, but it's been very nice for us because we use it as mostly a an FF14 machine and a media center. Like that is basically all we're using it for. We did play Ratchet and Clank, and that was fantastic. But yeah, it's like we don't really play too many games on it other than like that and Strive, but it's great as a media center. It's expensive, of course, but you know.
It's really interesting that you bring that up because when like the Xbox One was like still in sort of like its hype phase, Microsoft cast their net way too wide. Like they were trying to make this like you know, the console for everyone. Like, you know, it plugs into you can just watch your TV through it and like snap to a game while you're watching TV. And like, you know, it was exactly what you were saying that the PS5 is. They were trying to be this like all in one media center.
Do you remember like the way that the old Xbox looked? Like the first, like the original Xbox, like how it was like, it was the greenest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wait, no, the original Xbox wasn't green, it was black.
No, I'm talking about their
the HUD
dashboard.
Like the dashboard.
The HUD. It's like, man, you're looking through like a dot matrix type deal. Like, it was so green.
there was the see-through green Xbox.
Yes.
Is that a Halo Xbox or something?
I think that was a Halo
That
Xbox.
is the Halo 1 one, because the Halo 2 one is see-through white.
Yeah,
but like,
because my brother had all types of music on that sucker. Like the first Xbox. I know you were talking about the Xbox One, but for some reason I thought you were talking about the Xbox number one, like the first Xbox. But yeah, it like my brother had so much music on that sucker, and it was cool because we were freaking out about how much memory it had. Because if y'all remember, I never had a memory card for my GameCube. So, like, the fact that this thing had built-in memory blew our daggone minds, right?
It came with an 8 gig hard drive.
Yeah.
Four.
Comically, is it 4?
Was it?
Pretty sure. As my modded Xbox only has a 4 in it because it only fits 2 games on there.
I remember that the blocks...
I wonder if they changed versions at some point.
Yeah,
I modded the Xbox to put in a 500 gig hard drive.
Yeah.
Oh my
because
God.
I wanted to play all of the video games on it, and like it was a ridiculously simple system to soft mod.
That like OG Xbox dashboard was the most like early 2000s thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like that's such an that dashboard is just like the pinnacle of early 2000s aesthetic. Like like what is it? Like what were they called? Visualizers, like on Windows Media Center, like a visual, like the like music visualizers. That's what that dashboard reminds me of, and it makes sense. It was Microsoft.
Didn't it have them?
It
had one.
UI design has changed a lot.
Oh yeah.
In 2001, we were entering into an era of skeuomorphism, and then we've spent the last 10 years exiting it.
Yeah. Although, like I think back to like man, thinking about that original Xbox 360 dashboard, that thing was ugly.
Oh, it really was.
That thing was so
and then they
ugly.
they updated it, and it was still kind of ugly. It was like,
Yeah, the latest update, it wasn't nearly as ugly as the original, but the latest update almost seemed like plain by comparison.
Yeah.
And then they moved on to the Xbox One. And it was like, I have no idea where any of my games are.
Yeah, dude, it's so true. I could never, like, whenever they went to like the block aesthetic, especially with like do y'all remember like the Windows phones? Like,
Oh, when they went to like Windows 10 and like that's when they really started with the block aesthetic, right?
yeah, well, the Windows phones really, it was like weird. It was like a faux Windows 10, like a fake Windows 10. And like, I couldn't use a Windows phone. Well, fair enough. I can't use a Android phone very easily either because I'm an iPhone boy. But like, it was just so strange to me. Like, it's so alien, like the block aesthetic, and I don't know why. That's why I'm kind of like not worried, but I'm just apprehensive about going to Windows 11, for a myriad of different reasons. 'Cause I'm a streamer, but yeah, like the Windows Phone 8. It had Windows 8 on it. That's why it was weird. That's right.
Yeah.
Also, a reminder that there was a Windows 8.
Yeah.
My laptop is Windows 8.
9.
I still like it. I got
And
used
no
to it.
Windows 9.
I went
Yes.
straight from 7 to 10, so I
Same.
don't recall 8 existing.
As
8
an
was
IT
meh.
professional, 8 and 8.1 were a little bit of a problem child, but I will say that it made installing operating systems a lot easier because you didn't have to have everything extra, right? Like all the drivers and whatnot. Because most of the drivers are actually built into 8.1 and Windows 10. It is a freaking breeze to install operating system now comparatively. Like, it has problems on its in different ways, but yeah, God, it's been a long time since I've installed an operating system.
Does it seem like that every other Windows model is like it goes from good bad?
It's a curse, dude.
Because what was it? What was
XP.
before? XP was good. Then Vista, not a lot of people liked. Then 7 people liked. Then 8 nobody liked. And then 10 more people like that than 8.
I like 10. 10 is fine.
I like
with me.
10. 10. I finally gotten 10 to where I want to be. Everything's in a delicate balance. It's going to be thrown into whack once I download 11.
Yeah, like, you got to give like the OS like a year or so, and then it finally becomes like, okay, most people have figured out the issues. This is good enough to hop in.
Yeah.
Or I just wait until they come up with Windows 12 and just skip the generation.
Yeah. It seemed to work really well for them for 8 to 10, so because that's what 8.1 was.
Listen, I just don't want to. I don't want to get to a point where because Microsoft has the monopoly on software, that they're going to install an operating system on me that's going to background mine Bitcoin no matter what I have installed.
Clippy is going to be the one that tells you. Clippy's going to come up and be like, "I couldn't help but notice you're not actively mining Bitcoin." Don't worry, we've turned on your GPU processes to work on that.
Yep. Would you like to buy an NFT?
I knew that's where you were going with that joke halfway. What you were saying.
We've turned on your webcam. Smile. It's now an NFT.
Could you speak
now
up? We
own
turned
you.
on your microphone.
Yeah, here's an idea. Let me make an NFT of somebody's face, sue them for infringing on my right of the NFT, and have them get reconstructive surgery.
Oh
Bam,
my God.
I win. I win.
You've
Checkmate,
ruined someone's life
atheists.
at that point.
Checkmate, atheists.
I love the comment. Clippy was a crypto bro.
What happened to Clippy? Where is Clippy? Is he still
Everyone
in
had
Windows?
learned to hate him. They had to get rid of him.
I think it's time for the Clippy comeback.
The Clippy
I think
comeback.
it's been long enough that Clippy and
Don't-
Bonsai Buddy,
No,
not that.
Don't say his name.
Clippy and
Bonsai-
Bonsai Buddy could
Bonsai-
team up.
Steven,
And
did
that-
you know that Bonsai Buddy was malware?
Oh yeah, but he
Why
was
isn't he making a comeback then?
Well, he doesn't have to be malware this time.
People were
Listen.
feeling too secure on their computers. Let's fix that.
Listen, man. Freaking.
Also, a free, and this is another free idea. Whenever you're thinking about what you want your VTuber avatar, and you're going to pay someone to make some, make Bonzi Buddy. I'm sure that
That
I'm
has
sure
to
that
exist.
patent is-
There's no way
Somebody
it
is-
doesn't. There's no way it
Somebody
doesn't.
must have already
Yo.
done a VTuber of Bonsai Buddy.
Bonzi John.
Dude, we found someone doing Hank Hill. Like, there's no way Bonsai Buddy hasn't been done.
free idea.
Dude, see, what happened was Clippy and Bonzi Buddy just like took off to the hills. They're hanging out somewhere in the internet.
I can't wait to see how my sock puppet's coming along.
Oh my.
How do you keep timing these with exactly when I post a picture relevant to it? I posted a VTuber
Oh my
picture as
God.
you brought up VTuber, and then you mentioned the sock puppet as soon as I clicked the sock puppet
Jax,
picture.
Perfect.
that is brilliant. It's a picture. It's a picture of Mal holding Kepler. Kepler looks terrified. Mal looks angry and saying, "Steven, you're scaring Kepi." Steven is off frame holding a sock puppet in Mal's face.
I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, and Steven,
Good idea.
I found the answer to that Xbox thing. You were right, but I found out why I thought it was 4 gigs. It is 8 or 10 gig hard drives inside the original Xbox, but the usable space for users was 4 gigs.
Oh,
That makes sense.
So that's where the confusion came from.
It was still
Sure.
over 50,000 blocks, which blew my freaking mind.
Oh, block. Yeah, that number never
God,
went down on my
blocks.
Xbox.
No, and that was like the most mind-blowing thing to me because like the GameCube, I always had like, oh, I have maybe 127 blocks left. Ooh, this game takes up like 45. I don't know if I can do that.
What was
Goodbye,
the-
Luigi's Mansion. It's time for Smash to show up. You know, it's like that type of deal.
What was the
But-
monstrously big GameCube memory card? Like the 1024?
Yes, 1024.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
know that one actually is incompatible with certain games.
What?
Yeah.
Because it was so big.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 2 or 3 games that it does not work with the 1024.
And then there's also one game that will work with the 1024, but based on how many blocks you have left, it has to be less than 1,000 in order for it to work, because otherwise it can't read the 4th digit.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Huh.
there's some problems with it.
I
it's-
never knew
it's-
this. I was not aware of this.
But it's a problem with so few games that it's not worth worrying about unless you're going to play those games.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever pick up the Animal Crossing memory card?
Yeah, that was
Like-
was that even a 256 or whatever?
No,
the
it was,
512 or whatever.
It was the
it's
smallest. It was
64.
like the smallest one. Yeah, it was just whatever the baseline one was, because it was basically just like, we're going to have a
Oh,
We're
not
gonna have-
54. A 51? Is that what the
50
number was?
Yeah, I think it was 51.
It's five
It was just the
something,
baseline
yeah.
one, because it would have filled up your entire memory card, so it had to come with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Oh my
think,
god, that's crazy.
I think
And it,
I was
it has a little sticker that is an Animal Crossing sticker for this.
Yep. I used to have one. It was
Oh,
great.
wow.
I was-
So the memory card 59 was apparently 512 kilobytes. The 251 was 2 megabytes, and the 1019 was 8
Oh,
megabytes.
1019. What a
1019, okay.
stupid number. I'm mad that it's 1019. I'm also mad that it's 59, but whatever.
the 512 was the
fine.
one that made the most sense,
Or the 251.
Yeah, the 251.
or 251. Yeah.
251.
Oh no,
that-
that didn't make sense either. That doesn't go evenly into my square rooted brain. my 2 to the power of whatever brain.
So Erica just reminded me of something in the chat. She showed me the Final Fantasy 11 hard drive that you can buy
Yes, for the PlayStation 2.
Yep, the 40
Yep.
gig hard drive that came with it preloaded. I forgot all about that, sweetheart. Yeah.
Man,
Good God.
When I was younger, and I saw Final Fantasy 11, I was like, what the fuck? This like online game, and there's like other people here. There's like a lot you could do. There's no way this will work online, so I just avoided it altogether.
I was actually like that with PSO2 for the GameCube. Because I wanted to play that, but I couldn't really get my head around the GameCube can go online. Like I just couldn't do it.
And that PS2 hard drive was also soft moddable, and then you could just store stuff on it.
Yeah,
yeah.
like you couldn't even
Mhm.
use the Slim model. Couldn't even use it because they were like, "Oh shoot, this got hacked like really fast."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Well, you could pop pretty much in like the fat PS2. You could pretty much pop any old hard drive in there, because that's what my brother did. Oh man, that's what my brother did. And we would just rent games from Blockbuster and then pop them onto that hard drive, and it would be like all good. I'm admitting to cyber crimes from 20 years ago.
I was like, is
Statute of limitations.
incriminating himself live. Okay.
I remember my brother put, because you had the like when you loaded the games onto the hard drive, you had to put in like the name of the game yourself. It didn't just read it. So my brother had Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, but he spelled it wrong. So it was always on there as Chad's Theory.
I mean, ripping games can sometimes be just for checking the discs. So maybe you were just checking the discs. Make sure.
We're doing Blockbuster a favor.
That's actually how Player's Choice checks some of their games for like the Wii. Like they can put a Wii in the disc into the soft modded Wii and rip it. And the purpose is not to keep it. The purpose is to make sure that it gets through the thing completely, because it'll detect any bad sectors. And then they'll know if the disc is fine to be on the shelf.
The purpose is to burn copies of the game onto discs and sell them at a markup.
With the only problem with that being that we could play the burned game.
Would you like a copy of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn on a DVD-R?
Good lord.
Yeah, I went on like a tangent one time of just YouTube videos about like the whole like soft modding systems and jailbreaking systems and stuff like that, and it's so crazy, like how hard it is to break a system, and sometimes just how simple it is to break a system. It's actually kind of ridiculous. Like I remember the 3DS was super hard to break for a while, and then they figured it out like in a week, and then everybody was able to figure it out and make it even better and even better. It took them a long time to do it, and it was just like, oh, it's like once it's done once, it's just easy to continue with it. Like, have y'all? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say for the original Xbox, and I don't know how John did his. I did the Splinter Cell exploit where you had to load up a custom. You loaded up a custom save onto an Xbox memory card, so you had to have whatever allowed you to connect that memory card to like a PC.
Yeah.
But the custom save like loaded Linux, and then you just tried to load that save within the original Splinter Cell, and it just booted up. And it was remarkably simple. I mean, at the time, I guess now there's even easier things to do it with, but at the time I remember thinking, man, this is far easier than I suspected it would be. Changing the hard drive was a pain in the butt.
There was
doing the soft mod was easy.
There was a cavalcade of ways to break the Wii. I remember I remember back in the old machinima days when I needed to get the camera hacks onto Brawl. I remember the Twilight Princess method, where like you loaded up like a specific. You loaded something onto an SD card, loaded up Twilight Princess, loaded the save that was on that SD card, and then walked backwards, and then it would boot up a homebrew channel. It would install a homebrew channel onto the Wii.
Never forget how easy it was to mod a PSP and how many different ways they found to mod the PSP.
Porn.
The PSP was a really important system for me. I got the PSP when it came out.
Same.
And I had it modded, like, because the community had it modded pretty quickly, and I used it to play Super Nintendo games. Like, there were so many games that I had missed out on, and I used it to like replay certain things because I played Earthbound all the time. But then also to like try and play some games that are like, oh, I didn't play this when I was younger. I should really try and use this opportunity to play some more stuff.
Wow, Steven, you're ruining the Earthbound market and pirating it at the same time?
That's called double dipping, my friend.
I have played Earthbound many times on many different systems.
So stupid that people thought because you had like 6 copies of Earthbound out of the hundreds of thousands that are out there that you were ruining the market.
Yes, well, some folks don't understand numbers, and that's okay.
I remember my PSP was modded and I was playing a bunch of retro stuff, but that was actually where I played through Cave Story for the first time. Because someone made a port of it just for homebrew. So it wasn't even an official release, but it was authentic to the original release, so that's where I played through that.
And Cave Story, when Cave Story came out, it was free, right? Like, that's the original...
The original version is still free, apparently. I think Pixel still offers it.
Mm-hmm. I think you can just download it straight from their website.
Yeah.
There's Cave Story Plus, right, which is the paid version.
With Dan, that Nicholas got the rights to that, and that's just a whole mess there that we should not go on with. But yeah, like there are basically two ways to play Cave Story. There's the free original version, and then there's the paid for every other version.
Interesting. Cave Story is kind of what comes to mind when I think of like original indie game, and I don't know if that's just because of the era that I grew up in and what was perceived to me as indie. I think for another generation, it's probably Super Meat Boy and Braid and
N.
Oh, N plus
N
and N,
plus.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember playing N Way of the Ninja on Newgrounds, and then seeing it as a DS game. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, DS and PSP simultaneous releases. I was working at a game store when those came out.
It was nuts. Well, I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Steve. What were you saying?
There was a documentary. Braid was featured in it, and then Fez.
Oh, it was like Indie Game the movie.
Yeah, I think that was probably really big for people too, because I think that probably introduced folks to the idea of indie games. There's a lot of folks that they've only ever played, AAA games on the shelf, and I think that probably spurred them to start checking out some other things.
Then,
Alien Hominid. That's
I was gonna say that was
Flash
Alien
games.
Hominid. Yeah, Newgrounds really opened up the door to a lot of game developers.
Do you remember that Flash games worked on the Wii?
I thought you were gonna stop.
No?
It worked.
Me too.
I didn't know Flash games worked on the Wii.
That was one of the things that you could do. Is you could play. You could go. I mean, you could go to websites on the Wii,
The Opera
and
browser.
there were. If the support was, I don't know if it was support that was built in specifically for the Wii, but if the support for the game was basic enough, the Wii functioned like a mouse pointer, and you could actually play Flash games, which is insane.
At the very least, the point and click ones, because if they required a keyboard, then you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, but if it was simple enough, in theory, and this isn't a real example, but in theory, you could play Angry Birds or something like that, which is bizarre. Yeah. Sorry, I'm spending a lot of time reminiscing about stuff.
Like the what was it? The Homestar Runner guy. Someone in the chat mentioned Homestar Runner. I remember they had a lot of games that they made just on their website, and then they had an official game come out on Steam and
WiiWare.
Wii. Yeah, WiiWare. Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people.
It was like 5 or 6 parts or something like that.
Yep. It's nuts.
All right, I think we're getting the red light is starting to flip.
We got the red light 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think it's actually more than that because I think Dan put the list for like topics like a half hour ago or something like that.
I'm on the wrong channel. I kept checking on scheduling, and I was like, Dan hasn't said anything. And then I just now realized that the other channel. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we should probably wrap up.
All right. Well, once I'm done
Sorry,
showing
Dan.
off memory cards and hard drives. All right. Topics for this week. What have we even talked about today? It feels like it's been a lot. Talking points. Metacast. Argyle is father. Not sure about that one. Donkey teeth. Get her, mater. Stay in queue. Long road to nowhere. Big gas station. Brief comedy. Sock puppet tuber. Teeth songs. Stranger P dance.
Nope.
Danger.
Try it again.
Danger.
Stranger P danger. To be fair, P dance at least makes sense too, I feel.
A stranger P dance is not okay, John. I don't want to talk about a stranger P dance.
Well, I don't know what's worse, Stranger P dance or Stranger P danger. Also, that's just the Stranger P, like just putting the P in there sounds like it's a middle initial, not like the act of peeing. My name is Stranger P danger.
The name's Danger. Stranger P Danger.
Ski robber. Memories. Supersonic Sega. Let's get physical. Windows 8 9. Clippy comeback. Blocks bite. Jailbreak jail. And remember indie games? God. All right, what
That's
are
a
y'all up
lot.
to this week? That was a lot. Yeah, well, because we went. It's almost been 2 hours, dude. We're at an hour.
I didn't even realize.
Hour 45 minutes.
Lost time.
I think this is the longest disc only episode.
Well, I'm sure somebody will correct us on that very soon. So yeah, in terms of what's going on, of the coming month, I'm going back to Connecticut in a week for Christmas. So I'm trying to fit everything I can into this next week of like the stuff that I normally play. It's kind of like in the more high end range. Probably gonna be a bit more Monster Rancher DX coming out. Pokemon Shining Pearl Nuzlocke. I play D&D on Tuesdays. Let's see. I'm still going strong with the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I have those recorded all through December, so those should be coming up. Finishing up Sonic Adventure DX sometime sometime in the next week, I want to say. And then I have no idea what I'm moving on to for another Let's Play. I think I've covered everything.
Okie doke. Thanks. I wasn't here last week. I started playing Skyrim again because we live in hell.
And also because you lost that custom Smash match.
And also, I don't know what year it is. But I'm finishing up playing Skyrim this Friday. Well, I'm not going to finish it, but I'm going to stop after this. I'll come back to it at some point in the future. And then next week, we're going to be playing something different, something new. The bigger thing is that Mao is going to be back because she hasn't been joining me on Friday streams. Also, and I guess this would be fast. If you didn't know, Mao had a very major surgery, which is why I wasn't here last month. It's been 5 weeks now. She's doing really, really well. And I'm also underselling this a lot because like the surgery will change her life and make her life a million times better. But she'll be back on next Friday. And we also got plans for Christmas Eve stream and a New Year's stream. So there will be all sorts of incredible and incredibly dumb stuff happening this month. So come check it out.
She shall come back stronger, faster.
I mean, yes, kind of technically. She's had brain fog for a long time, and I think that's going to be clearing up, and she's going to be too powerful.
Oh yeah, like her third eye is decalcified, and her limiter has been removed.
It's yes, it's true.
Jerry, what about you?
Drumming on Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday as normal. Next week on the 16th, there is a possibility. It's like 95% sure that I'm going to be doing a dual stream with Masay. We have something in the works for that, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Simulator.
Yes. 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 We're going to be cleaning stuff. We're going to be clean buddies, and it's going to be great. So that yeah. I whenever we saw that it was multiplayer, I was just like, "Hey, Masay." She's like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Yes." Perfect. So yeah, probably going to do that on the 16th, Thursday. Don't know when it's going to start, but we'll figure it out. And other than that, I mean, it's just things as normal. Just gonna be hitting stuff with sticks.
All right. For me, since this is a Wednesday, it's a normal stream day, there's going to be more stream for me after this. Tonight, I'm going to be doing Mario Party Superstar games with viewers. So we're going to do that after the break. If you are watching the VOD or listening to the audio cast, I had some requests to cut the two streams into separate files, and that'll be on the YouTube channels. They'll be separate there. But if you're watching on Twitch while it's live, I'm just going to like go to the end of stream screen for a bit and then hop over to intermission. So there's a cut point. So we're still going live for like another 4 or 5 hours for me tonight. Otherwise, schedule is otherwise normal. Mondays, game clearing. We're currently beating Bomberman Quest, and then we're going to play a couple random games for the rest of the Mondays because all of our plans for Mondays are otherwise done. Wednesdays, next week we're doing Power Trip, where if you win a raffle, you get to pick what game we play on stream next, and then I don't know what we're going to be doing after that. Saturdays are Fortune Cookie, except there's not one on Christmas Day because I'm going to be spending time with my family. But next week, I'm actually taking part of a charity stream. I'm going to be a part of the Smile Time charity marathon running next weekend. I believe is it running from 17th to 19th, I think it is? Or it's 16th to 19th? I'm pretty sure it's 17th to 19th. Friday night, I think around 9 o'clock my time, we're going to be doing a version of Fortune Cookie. It is not Chaos Fortune Cookie where you donate and pick a game. It is going to be something instead. I think I haven't thought of the name. I think it was like High Speed Cookie or something was what I was bouncing around, where we set a goal. I think like every $100, I have to switch what game I'm playing no matter what. So every $100, we change the game that we're streaming. So if someone donates $300, I have to run 3 cookie games and ignore the first 2. So it's basically donating will cause the game to change immediately, and it's just going to... Sugar Rush is actually a really good idea. I like that name. We may go with that. But yeah, so it's going to be cases where, like, if no one donates, we're going to be on a game for the rest of the stream. But if everyone donates, we're going to be playing, like, just minutes of games, if even. So it's going to be really hectic, but it'll be a lot of fun. Otherwise, as people have been pointing out in chat as well, Coliseum's dates got announced officially at the beginning of the month. So we will see you guys, hopefully in person. At least most of us will be in person the end of February.
On the bright side, John, if you can't make it and we do disc only, we'll have a sock puppet for you.
Thank you. I'm glad. I
John,
can be represented by a sock puppet.
Do you have the exact dates on hand?
26, 27, 28.
Yes.
Cool.
26th to the 28th. 3
3
p.m. to 3 a.m. every day in Eastern time.
Excited. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited.
I still need to book my flight.
We still need to figure out if we're going to be able to make it. Because Reese and I might be the only 2 who can't.
It'll be fine.
We shall
It'll
see.
be fine. It'll be fine.
Dan, would
yeah,
you like
Dan.
to say something?
Sure.
Thanks, Dan. Do you want to go over what do you want to go over what you've been doing as well, as opposed to just your one word? We did upgrade you to 2, so extend that word into a sentence.
Like a run-on sentence?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This is
Look
all.
at
This
the-
is
look
all,
at the screen, Dan.
Also, this is all just one word as well.
I didn't have a picture to use
Perfect.
for Dan, so I just give him a big Dan.
Thank you, John. God. For those listening at home, there's a giant Dan.
Yeah, on the screen whenever
Just the
Dan
word
talks. Whenever Dan talks, similar to how our like faces light up, a giant Dan appears on the screen.
I love it.
Clever.
The joys of working on things at 4 a.m.
Twitch.tv/MotionDan. But also, I recommend, I mean, of course, I recommend listening to and watching All My Friends. But today I was editing Oblivion for Tom, and there's an episode coming out where Tom just gets frustrated at an NPC, and it gives me so much life.
Oh, what was his name?
Oh, God.
I want to give him a taste of it, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he's the stupidest NPC.
Velwyn Benaris? I can't remember his name.
I think so. I don't know.
Velwyn Veneris.
Yeah, he's really stupid. And
He's a very stupid NPC.
And Tom just wails in him. It's great. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
Do you have any more?
Steven, the Breath of the Wild Let's Play is coming up to an end.
Oh, it's almost
soon.
over. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Sorry, I finished it in June, so I'm like, oh yeah, that happened.
yeah, so like, get caught up. I haven't edited the end yet, but like, it's the light in the end of the tunnel is very.
We'll make it a premiere. It'll be special for the YouTube folks. It'll
Yeah.
be great.
And watch Runaway Guys. We're still doing the OJ.
Yeah, 100% OJ.
It's all we have recorded. It's all we have.
Yeah, the last like couple games, like the ends are like insane. And it does not like John one bit.
No, it does not, and I do not like it, which is why I find it so funny. I keep getting sent mods for the community. I got a new character that I might start playing, but it's like we showed it on Stream on Cookie on Saturday, and it was very boob. I'm like, oh, I probably can't put that on TRG. Oh, it might be too boob for TRG.
Boy. And then I guess just watch Jared.
Watch me do what?
Well, Dan doesn't edit for
I
you.
don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Not
that's
yet
how
he
you
doesn't,
get
but he
funny.
might one day. You never know.
Um,
I actually
that's
do
it.
need to ask you about your rates, Dan, because I might get you to start doing stuff for me, honestly.
okay.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. As always, a special thank you to Popsky for our theme song, Prism Shard for our logo, Paper Pennies for the beautiful art in the intro, and Dan for being our producer and doing all the editing. Like I said on this side, if you're listening to the VOD or if you're listening to it on Spotify or anywhere else where you're listening to it, first off, thanks. Secondly, if you're listening to the VOD version on YouTube, you're going to see a cut here, but the stream is going to be live if you're still watching on Twitch, and we're going to play some Mario Party here in a bit. You may be able to play as well, so I'll see you guys for that. Otherwise, next disc only is going to be, I assume, are we going to aim for first Tuesday of January at this point? Do we know if anyone's got a schedule issue this time around? Because we've had to shuffle around a little bit the past couple months. We normally are on Tuesday nights, but I think the last two or three have been on Wednesdays.
I'm gonna be back in Texas, but if it's gonna be January 4th, I might have a bit of a hangover from Manatee's raging birthday party.
So it's gonna be TBD, is what I'm hearing for January.
Yeah,
It'll
the
be
only
fine.
the only thing is like MagFest is going to be January 6th to the 9th.
You're right.
So yeah, we might have to like figure something out for that.
Tom, are you going? Because I know Steven is.
No.
And we can't.
It
might just be Jared going.
I'm trying to buy a house, so
it'll be disc lonely.
I think it's a disc lonely for Mag. We'll get you a panel and everything, buddy. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I now, if y'all are able to make it happen for Tuesday, like I'm okay for that, but TBD for sure.
All right, we'll see what happens. Take it easy, everybody. I'm gonna mute our mics so we can chat for a bit, and if you're watching the stream live, I'll see you in a little bit.
Oh man, I have a sock puppet.
Now wait, did you mute for the end slate?
No,
Okay, so
I
yeah,
did,
so
because I knew
so
Steven
we
was
can
gonna do something. I knew.
yeah,
he
so
would.
we can still get a funny in.
Happy
You gotta have the
holidays.
end funny.
Yeah,
You
we can
have
get the
your
end funny in
beginning
there.
funny, and then you have your end funny. You don't do it all the time, so it stays special.
Bro,
Because you
enjoy-
want it to be special.
It's
Enjoy
snowing in
your
house.
enjoy your late fall, early winter holidays, people, whatever they may be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we won't be back until after.
No, not until 2022.
Marcy
Happy
Scramble,
holidays,
everybody.
everyone.
Yep.
Happy
And
holidays.
don't forget about the grunch.
Disappointed!
Just sounds really nasty when you call it the grunge.
This is the copyright-free grunch.